bolt hold. Oh. Alrighty guys, so we got the John Deere here and we got all the new parts. Now hopefully things go well for us and we can get this thing to go again, but before we start putting new parts on it, we're gonna have to take this blower shroud off and get rid of the mouse nest that is in here, because we did discover that when we were looking at it quite a days ago. But I was out sick, so I couldn't post too much this week, but was hoping to get this video out and feeling a lot better so we can keep on going here. So I'm pretty excited. We got the spark plug. There we go. Numbers matching, the whole nine. We got positive, negative terminals. We got the starter, got a battery, got gas. We'll see what we can get here. So I'm going to start by taking off this bolt. Where is it? Hang on. This is pretty cool, the wing nut. Right. See if I can show you guys what bolt we're going to take out. Ooh, gonna need an air filter. Right there. Got a bolt there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Camera focuses. Right there on the firewall. Or firewall, geez, on the thing here. And possibly one right behind here. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna grab my socket set out and see if we can't take that off. Alrighty guys, I opened this up a little bit. You know, there's not that much room to open it up, and there was a little bit of mouse nest, but nothing really big, and I was shocked to see that there was no walnuts in there. So I'm gonna bolt this thing back up. I got these two bolts in, but what I forgot to show you guys is there is a bolt on the side down here you have to get in order to open the shroud up. But I'm gonna finish bolting the shroud back in, and then we'll install the starter and the wires, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, got the shroud tightened up. I figured, you know what, while we're here we might as well actually just take the spark plug out. Alright, that was only not too bad. See that? It's not terrible. It still worked when I had it, but I just figured, you know, why not just replace it? Yes, I did gap these plugs. You always want to make sure, especially with this old iron, guys, you should be doing it with all your mowers, but I don't do it as much with my V-twins, these guys over here, because I haven't had a problem with it, knock on wood. But it's always good to check the gap of your plugs, because sometimes, even though you're buying these brand new, the gap can be wrong. It could be too little, too much, and that can affect the way that your motor, it can affect the chances of your motor starting or running kind of not good. Slap this in. Beautiful. Alrighty. Turn this over. Oh yeah, that's good. Nice. Definitely got compression. Right on. So I guess we will start the starter now. Begin with the starter here. So you can see here, just quickly, a little show and tell for you guys. This is the original one. This is the one that came with the block, and it's just completely locked up. I mean, the gear moves up, but it will not turn the actual starter. So I might try to get this rebuilt, not too sure, but I mean, rather than trying to mess around with this, I just got a numbers matching version of this. The only thing that's different from this to this one is the top end is just a little different, but the starter teeth count tooth count, geez, I can't talk, is the same, and the bolt pattern is the same. So yeah, this guy, I'll probably just put him right here for now. Okay, so in theory this starter should go in something like, get this stick out of here, something like that, roughly. So let's see what we can't do here and try to get this starter installed. Put the camera down here. Perfect. Got the original bolts too, so we're not gonna end up having to look for those. Let's see what we can do here. So starter goes in. Got the bolt holes. It's pretty simple. Just make sure, guys, that you do not, you know, you can impact these starters in, but you do really want to be careful. I'm going to hand tighten these in because these are cast iron blocks. So let me tell you something, if you strip or snap your bolt, which would be hard to do, but I've seen it done, if you do that on one of these blocks, it's just not going to be fun for you to try to re-drill and make new bolt holes. Why is this one not going in? There we go. So you do just want to be somewhat cautious when it comes to that. Alrighty. Okay, bolts are in. So now we're going to come over to our socket set here. Socket wrench. Let's see. It might already be a 14. Maybe I... Huh, perfect. 14mm socket. Nice and easy. Make sure we're on the tightening stroke, which we are. And yeah, just have at it. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna finish tightening up the starter. I'll turn the cameras back on when we are ready to wire the starter back up. Alrighty guys, pretty simple, especially when you have a new one. Take this top bolt off, leave the bottom bolt on. That is gonna hold all the goodies inside. So you can put that in like that. There you go, and then you can use a wrench or a socket wrench. I'm going to use a wrench just because the wrench set is literally right next to me here. 10mm wrench right here, and there we go, nice and snug. You don't want to ever over tighten these things because it's really easy to over tighten these and break them. Alrighty guys, so the starter's wired up. I'm going to cut the cameras off here, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the positive and negative wires onto the solenoid and put our battery in, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, got a little sidetracked there. I had to install a new solenoid. This old one, I went to go move the wire back in order to put a good spot for the GoPro to show how we're going to wire this thing, and the solenoid post right here just broke right off. So this thing is pretty old, and I'd say it is about time for a new one. Anyways, but you can see we're using a modern day solenoid. As long as the system is 12 volt, which this system is 12 volt, and the solenoid I've put in is for a 12 volt system, and as long as everything fits, you should be fine. There's really not that big of a difference, although I do believe these modern ones are a lot more efficient, but I mean the difference isn't really that big, and you can see it fits just right in there, just fine. So it's pretty simple to wire these up. You have your positive cable going from the front post of your solenoid Bolt that in there just like this. And this goes to the battery, so you have positive, sorry, lost the bolt there. You have positive wire going from the front post of the solenoid to the battery, and then you have your starter wire going from the starter to the back post of the solenoid. You have your accessories hooked up to these small posts in the back, and then of course you have your negative on the body or the frame, as long as it's grounding out somewhere. This is back in the day where instead of having your ground out be on I don't know, on these modern day motors, they ground out on the motor itself, or sometimes they'll ground out right near the steering wheel by the firewall. And this is kind of a similar thing, but with this John Deere, there is a lot more availability for grounds. You can ground it here, here, inside this firewall, right here. I mean, there's a lot of spaces to work here, because this is mostly metal we're working with here, not a lot of plastic. So in this case, I'm going to ground out, probably going to go right here to this guy, or here, most likely here, because that just makes sense to me. I do have a nut and bolt kit, so I will be getting that out in just a minute here. But I mean, it's pretty much that simple. That's why I love these mowers. There's no computers, there's no BS to get in the way. It's just old-fashioned stuff, and it's pretty straightforward and simple. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut the camera off here. I'm gonna get my nut and bolt kit. We're gonna bolt this negative terminal in, and then when I turn the camera back on, we're gonna set the battery in, bolt the cables to the battery, and then we are going to, let me see if I'm forgetting. Oh, we did the spark plug. All right, yeah, no, other than that, we're gonna plug the Noco in and just see if we have proper voltage going from our ignition to the solenoid to the starter. Just want to make sure that's good. We don't want to make sure there's any we do want to make sure that there's not wires touching, anything shorting out, because there's not a lot of fuses on these things. In fact, I don't think there is a fuse on this mower, so it's pretty much solid wiring. So yeah, without further ado, let's drop a battery in her. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have all the wiring done, but I do believe something is not right in the system, because the ignition switch will not crank the starter over, but it will activate the ignition system, which is kind of weird. Probably something minor, but we can always just jump it from the solenoid, which is what I'm going to do. And it spins pretty good, so it spins a lot better than it did last year. So we're gonna plumb up a fuel system and then check for spark, and if everything looks good, we'll attempt to crank this thing over and try to start it. Alrighty guys, we're gonna check for spark here. Turn the system on. Ignition. Alright, we'll see what we get here. No spark. Okay. So, I know just the thing to check. These do have points and condensers, so we could have some dirty points. I'll have to take some sandpaper to or something and just see if those are good. I do see they're exposed to the elements here, so that may not be too good. But alright, we'll do a little pre-check here and just kind of see if we can try to get spark back. Alrighty guys, I just got pumped up off camera. I was trying to figure out why this thing wasn't starting by the key. I think the solenoid I have in it is faulty. It looks new. I thought it was new. It is new. And you know, sometimes you buy these solenoids and they just don't come they just don't come the way that they're supposed to be. So this one, I'm at least able to jump the solenoid, and I am able to get spark now. I am actually able to control the ignition and the coil system through the ignition, so we are getting spark. I put a little gas down the throat and it lit right up. So I'm gonna put the battery back in it, hook everything back up, hook the gas tank in, fill the gas tank up, and who knows, maybe we might be able to hear this thing actually idle for the first time in its whole life, at least that I've owned it. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we got a somewhat decent fuel system. We're not definitely going to keep it this way, but just to see if it'll fire up, got a fuel system all plugged up. We got fuel in it, battery connected or jump pack connected. I'm ready to hear this thing run, so let's see what happens. Just cross our fingers and hope. Ignition on, pack on. Okay, got choke on. See what happens. Ah, I think this pack is getting dead. Hang on. Yep, okay. I got a second one. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's see if she'll fire up now. Gonna go off the choke. That's put in. Okay. Let's see, his pack's probably dead. Let's see. Yep. Let's see here. All right. So that pack just died. That wasn't very charged well. All right. I probably spent it all trying to figure out the electrical gremlin. I'll bring the Husqvarna over and just try to jump it from there. So stay tuned for more. Alrighty, gonna spray a little bit of love down her throat. Alright, let's see what happens. Make sure ignition's on. Yes, it is. Very good. Oh, she wanted to. Come on, baby. Oh, oh. All right, she wanted to. She wanted to. Take it off the choke completely here. Let's see what happens. Interesting. I wonder if it's only running because of the carb cleaner. Might have a fuel delivery problem. Let's see. Okay. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna try a full choke again. Yeah, okay. Huh. We almost had her for a little bit. Almost wonder if it's flooded now. Another try. Well, it kind of started. It did start. That was pretty cool. It idled for a little bit there. Oh, she wouldn't give me the rest. Yeah. Give her one more shot of carb clean. If that doesn't do it, then probably have to call it here. Give her one more try. I'm seeing smoke coming out of the exhaust. It's trying. Let me try to give it a choke. Burn out the starter. Damn. I bet you we flooded that carburetor. Those are hot. Accidentally touched the tip of the wrench here. Damn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to end it here. It's getting pretty late in the day. I got to hear it run. I've never heard this thing run before. That was pretty cool. It was really quiet. When I gave it throttle, it responded. I think it was just running off the carb cleaner, but I don't want to keep trying to start it because I don't want to hurt anything or burn out any electrical, such as the starter or the solenoid. But all right. Well, you guys know what that means. We're gonna have to do a deep dive on this thing. Absolutely. I don't want to make this video too long, but I think next time what we're going to do is I'm going to order a new solenoid so we have power to the key, and then I'm going to dive into the carburetor to figure out why we're not getting a good fuel flow, and then I'm going to dig into the fuel system, and we could try to find something permanent that'll stay. All that to come. But I mean, we got to hear this thing run. That was actually pretty cool, pretty sweet. We're almost there. But she just needs a little more TLC. I'm pretty tired though. This thing took a lot out of me, I'll tell you. But we got to hear it fire, like I said before, and all I can say is I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You know, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. This is not the end of the John Deere. We have many things we're going to be doing to it. I'm hoping I can get it pushed into the shop. I hope it's not too heavy, but if I can get it in the shop, we can do a lot more with it, and you know, we won't have to be out in the elements as much, which, you know, being in the hot sun and or in the cold rain, it really does do a number on a guy. So yeah, stay tuned for more of this John Deere, and please stay safe. And this is Impossible Mowers out.